Welcome to Live with Pelado Creations. This is a little bit different than usual. Got this mannequin in here because my daughter wants me to fix it. You may notice that the base down here is not basing very well. It's got 4 slots for these supports, but only 3 actual supports. And missing one. This is the remnants of what I could find. What was stuck in the base. I'm not sure where the actual piece has gone to. So I'm going to try to make a new support out of not the plastic like this was made from, but instead I'm going to try to make one out of wood. So let's see how that goes. I'm going to move this out of the way. And get you guys a little bit closer in here. What I'm intending to make it out of is some oak. So I got some oak hardwood here that I salvaged from a hardwood flooring someone was getting rid of on Facebook Marketplace. So I've previously processed a bunch of this oak. You can kind of see it's hanging out there in the corner. I did that on previous live videos. And this piece is not among those because it's a little bit thinner here. See how it's the coloration is a lot different here than here. Here, the finish didn't come off when I planed it. I'm guessing because it's a little bit thinner there, but I'll just use this guy because I'm going to make him even thinner because I need to match the thickness of this guy in order for it to work. So I've got some layers to remove there. And I will do that with the planer. Hey, Gary. Thanks for joining me. I need to urinate. Thanks for joining us. I'm happy for you to stick around as long as you're urinating, or even if you are not urinating, I will still allow you to participate in our live stream today. All right, let me get the planer out. And try to put it into a position that you all can see. That might work. And let me get the dust collector. So we can collect some dust. And I think I will also get the hose to connect these two. That way, there's a way for the dust to get from the planer into the dust collector. This is some 4-inch hose. Okay. That seems to be working. Connect this over here. All right. And lower this guy and just test out my height here. Looks like I've got right about there. Will get me a little bit of bite. Usually sleeping. I probably should be too, yeah. Since I'm awake, we're both awake. Yeah, fair enough. So I measured the thickness of this guy. And so needed to be around 0.36. When I measured it earlier, I got 0.35. Yeah, 0.35 right there. 0.35. So that's my target measurement is 0.35 inches. So let me get some eye protection and ear protection. And then we'll turn on the dust collection and the planer and start planing this guy down. I'm just going to check the width periodically here. So right now I'm at 0.44. So I need to go down another nearly 1/10 of an inch. Point 0.36, 0.36, 0.36, 0.35, and just compare this. That should be just about the right thickness. So I'm going to say we're done with the planer. It's pretty easy. Hey, Spread Place. Thanks for joining us. All right, so I'm going to unplug my planer and dust collector. And take off the hose. And put the dust collector away. Someone was telling me the other night on a live video that I should make a cart for my planer and dust collector, and I've been intending to do that for a while, just haven't gotten around to it. Which means instead I get to lug it around every time I need to do anything. So our next fun chore is going to be jointing the board. So jointing it, I'm going to need my table saw. All right, I'm going to give you a little bit more space here, but I won't need the crosscut sled. I don't think. So I'll move that out of the way. Let me position this in such a way that you might be able to see what we're actually doing. So I'm going to get my jointing jig, and I think that one's small enough that I can use the smaller jointing jig. I'm going to start. So the hardwood here is a tongue and groove system. So the old hardwood flooring. So this is the tongue part, and this is the groove part. You can see the groove part. You know, we've lost some right there, so it's not as consistent. So I'm going to start by shaving off this this tongue portion, and so this is just a little jointing jig that I made for the table saw. And I'm just using some match fit hardware in a dovetail groove. So dovetail, and then match fit has a dovetail shape as well. So then it can hold on to the hardware real easily. And then I'm just going to position this guy like that. And then let me show you another feature of the joint of the deal here. So one of it is that it has little splinters that I can get in my skin. So that's nice. But basically, I took a little segment of oak hardwood, which probably I should remove this piece because it's taller than that, but maybe it'll still hold okay. I used this piece when I was working with all the other stuff over there that I jointed and stuff. It's a little bit narrower than that, but I've just made this thinner. So this stock is thinner than this. So the idea was that I'd have support back here so that it wouldn't just be at an angle like that when I'm tightening it down. See, but I made this little segment so that I can remove it with the screws there rather than having it like glued down and permanent, knowing that I would have different thicknesses of stock that I would want to joint. So, and then I've just got some sandpaper here to give it a little bit more grip. So I'm going to try it and see if it'll tighten down well enough as it is. So I'm just going to position this to shave off just enough to give me a clean edge. And so just screw these guys down. And yeah, I'm gonna have to take off this back piece because it's just too thick to work with this. Darn it. Let's see. Can't keep your eyes open, Gary. That's all right. Have a good night's sleep, okay? Like button activated. Appreciate it. Hi, Josier Pereira. Why can't I speak tonight? Josier Pereira. All right, let me grab this guy. Let me just see if you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm just gonna remove the screws. And take that one off. Let me just test with this guy to see if I'm going to be able to get enough purchase on here without a back support. So if I just tighten this down without having anything over here, is it going to be able to give enough pressure on the board? So see how it doesn't have a lot of contact space there, but feels like it's holding tight enough, and maybe that's because I've got the sandpaper on there. So let's just do the same thing on the other side. And oh yeah, I had to make a little hole for this guy so it would fit in on the edge there. So here we go. Hey, I've got some chat here. Let's see. Mirabal, thanks for being here. Got a question. Maybe you want to get some more professional tools. Mechanic engineer, got stuck on Milwaukee or Walt. Also want to do home projects like cabinet outside kitchen and stuff. And good morning. Hi up to something outdoors. Good to see you. So which one should you get? Milwaukee and DeWalt are both high quality tools. So if you're just considering those two, then I think you're going to be fine with either brand. I use Makita. It's similar in some ways, better in some ways worse. So each of the brands has kind of what they do best. So if you're looking at the battery powered hand tools or power tools like the impact driver here or drill or handheld router or whatever, if you're looking for the battery specific, I'd say pick a battery platform and go with it, because really DeWalt, Milwaukee, Makita, those are all good brands, and you can also get good equipment for less expensive if you're willing to go to like a Ryobi, or Rigid has some good stuff. And all of these tools are made basically by the same companies. So like the same company that makes that owns the DeWalt brand also owns Black & Decker, right? So the DeWalt brand, typically they're going to be putting some higher end parts. So, they might last longer or be a little bit more powerful or whatever. But by and large, pick a brand, go with it. And if you're looking for corded tools, so not a battery, then you don't even have to really stick to a particular brand, because you can plug it into anything. You don't, it doesn't have to work with a particular battery system. So, so I've got, mostly Makita for my battery operated tools, but, I've got a DeWalt sander. I've got some Harbor Freight stuff for my angle grinder and, other stuff. My planer is DeWalt. A dust collector is Rikon. The jointer is Porter Cable. My router table is Porter Cable. So, the brands aren't as important as just making sure that whatever you have works for you. Hope that helps. Thank you. You're welcome. No problem. All right. So the way this thing is supposed to work, I have to raise the blade. And so I like to have the blade just high enough so that my carbide teeth will clear my workpiece. Okay. And then I've got, this is a jointed edge over here. And so I just want that to slide right through. Seems like that should work. And I'll just grab out the push stick I made, lock in the fence, move my impact driver, get my eye protection and ear protection back on. Fixing a dollhouse? No, actually I am fixing a mannequin. So let me grab it real quick. I displayed it when first started the live, but then I just kind of moved it out of the way. But so my daughter uses this for her sewing projects, and the base has slots for 4 different supports. I took one of them out, and the other one broke off. And so I'm trying to repair the base by making, basically a new one of these. But instead of making it out of plastic, I'm going to try making it out of some oak. So that's that's what I'm trying to do. So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, she uses it for sewing clothing, for making clothes, and all that sort of thing. So the idea is this is a jointed edge, so it's nice and straight. It'll run against my fence. And then I've got my blade set to be exactly this width away from the fence. And so I just have a little bit hanging off here of my workpiece. And so it should joint that edge for me. I have a jointer, but it doesn't really work on really long pieces, and especially long and narrow pieces like this would be. So, and also when I'm using the jointer, I've got to have to do multiple passes, whereas this gets me a jointed edge in a single pass. So it ends up being a lot quieter. Would it not be easier to make a circle-based base? It could be, but I'd have to find a way to secure that circle base to, the pole. I mean, it could be done, right? But this way, I just need to recreate one of these, which I'm thinking should be relatively simple. The tricky thing for me tonight is that the workpiece that I'm looking at right now, it's not wide enough. So after I get this jointed and then ripped, I'll have to glue a couple of pieces of it together to make it wide enough. But otherwise it should be fine. So maybe I should have picked out some stock that was already wide enough, but yeah, see. I guess I was just anxious to use this this oak. Oh, the table saw tends to work a lot better when I plug it in first. So let me try plugging it in. And when I plug it in, I actually have this set up as a on my little mobile cart. It includes on the cart a shop vac. So a little shop vac down there, and the bucket down there is a cyclone separator. And right there is a little control switch so that when I turn on the table saw, it also turns on the shop vac. And so the shop vac turns on basically the dust collection, so I don't have as much dust to worry about when that's working properly. So let's see how it works. Maybe circle is not good in keeping it balanced. Circle, I mean, a circle would probably keep it balanced just fine. It's just then I'd have to make the circle big enough to support it. So the radius of the circle would probably have to be at least that big. So then I'm looking at, a circle yay big, which, I mean, I could do, but now is that going to be, a piece of plywood? And it's like, okay, if so, then that ends up being, not just big, but a little bit heavier. That's maybe not what she wants to be lugging around. This is probably a little bit easier for her to move around, transport, whatever. So we'll see. And Ajid, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you being here. All right, let me turn it on for real now. So hopefully you can see kind of that jointed edge. Got kind of a little bit of a burn markings there. I'm not sure how much of that is on the oak and how much of it is, looks like most of it's on the plywood board there. So now I've got a nice jointed edge. And now that I have that nice flat jointed edge, I can run that against my fence for when I'm ripping this other side, so that I can clean off that. So, done with this for now. But before I put it away, I'm actually going to put these little supports back on. That guy. And this guy. All right. Then I've got my screws here. Let's see. All right. Hopefully I've got that positioned properly. All right. I'm not going to put it in all the way, because I want to get this one in position before I start screwing it all the way down. And I recessed those a bit. Oh, which when I look at it, I realize that I put this down upside down. So this is the side that goes up against the wood. And then I've got that like that, so that the head of the screw will be a little bit recessed below the level of the wood here. Countersunk is the word that I was thinking of. So I'll just get that mostly in. And then do the other side. Okay. And then I can put those back in my jointing jig. And put the jointing jig away. There we go. All right, so now I can lower this, because even though I'm cutting the same workpiece, now I don't have the jig to have it up so high. And that gets me pretty much, it gets me so I can rip to have a nice clean edge here. It won't eliminate this part here, but it'll save a little bit of width, and then I'll just use that piece for something else. So let's see. Hey, Soldier Farms. Thanks for joining us. All right, let me see if the camera is properly positioned here. That's probably good enough. All right, here we go. All right. You can hear the shop vac was still running for a few seconds after I shut off the table saw, and that's so it can clear out whatever dust was created. So now you see I've got a jointed edge that I did with the jointing jig, and then a ripped edge that I did just directly on the table saw. And so now, if I, oh, and then I wanted to show right here, got this little part here that's, was chipped away. So I'm probably going to cut this right here and use this section to glue on down here or something, so that I can make my piece that way. So that being said, now I can actually use my crosscut sled. Means I've got to get the fence out of the way. I'll change the angle here for you. And let's see. So my stop block here, similar to my other jig, uses match fit hardware. And need to raise this back up again, because now I've got the thickness of the crosscut sled to overcome. And give you the best angle I can. And hey, Satch, thanks for joining us. Theodore, what are we into today? Yeah, so Miribo is correct. I am trying to fix the base of a mannequin that my daughter uses for sewing and making clothes and stuff. So here's the mannequin. And here's the base. So I've got two supports on the base right now. I have a third piece that I have out to use as my template. And then the fourth one is broken. So basically I'm just trying to make a new fourth support piece. But instead of making it out of plastic, I'm going to make it out of some oak. That's the plan anyway. So we'll see how that goes. So that is definitely tall enough. But this guy right here is cracked on the end. So I'm going to remove some of that. So that I'm dealing with not cracked wood. All right. Then connect those pieces together. That gives me plenty of space to work with. All right, so let's come over to the workbench. How do you like the workbench? It's a little beat up. But you know what? If your workbench isn't beat up, you're probably not doing enough work on it. All right, so I'm going to, so there were, nails in this, because this was hardwood flooring. So I removed nails, so there's nail holes remaining. So I'm going to try to align this in such a way that it hides whatever nail holes I can, and whatever nail holes I can't hide are all on the same side. So that way the other side is relatively nice and pretty. So if I plan to put this like so, that means I need to glue here onto here. So let me get some glue. I'm just going to use some original Type Bond. This is not anticipating that this will need to be waterproof or even water resistant. So Theodore, you said so true. I'm not sure what you were saying is true. I guess I said too much between when I said that and when you wrote that, but maybe you can clarify for me. The workbench, right? Yep. Yeah, so I've got some residue here from shellac and lacquer, some burn marks from when I was doing some burning activities. So all sorts of fun. And looks like the last time I used my Type Bond Original, I didn't clean off the glue very well. So it's taken me a while to get this. There we go. Where I can actually squeeze some out. All right. There we go. And all right. That should be plenty of glue. All right. All right. There we go. I'm going to take off my ear and eye protection for the moment. Heather B, how's it going? Good to see you. Yeah, hit the like button, everybody. Appreciate it. Mike is making stuff. You're up early. Let's back up a little bit here. And so we'll just do a quick recap for those who are just joining us and allow that glue some time to dry before I start messing with it, probably prematurely. So far, well, the project today is trying to fix the mannequin base. This my daughter uses this mannequin for her sewing and clothes making processes. And the base here, it's got spots for 4 supports. I've got 2 in there right now. I've got a third over here, and the 4th one is broken. And so that's what I'm working on, is trying to make a new support. And I'm using this as a template. So this one was made out of plastic. I am making one out of oak, hardwood. And so I've planed it down to 0.35 inches. And then I took my hardwood after I planed it. I ran it on the jointer jig on the table saw. And after jointing it, then I ripped it. And my template here is about a little under 3.5 inches tall, right at the highest point. And this guy was more like 2 inches, actually less than that after jointing and ripping. So it'll be just about tall enough after it's all glued up. And I'll be able to cut out segment here to use. And then the other thing that I'll have to do, let me see if I could actually see. Okay, yeah. The other thing I'll have to do is take away a little bit of material right here, just make a little groove, little dado basically, so that it can slide into the base. So anyway, that's what I'm working on right now. And let's see. There, okay, nice setup. Oh, thanks, Theodore. Appreciate it. Junk mail, no clamps. Yeah, no clamps. So I'm not really too worried about clamping pressure on this. Just hand clamping it is probably going to be fine. I'm getting squeeze out, and one of my concerns of adding a clamp is that I want this to be flush with the 2 pieces here, because I've already planed it down to the thickness that I want. And maybe I shouldn't have planed it already, and maybe I should have done this part before planing it. But you know, live and learn, right? Yeah, this will be just fine. So I'm not worried about that. So what it looks like right now. I'll just let that dry for a little bit before I start manipulating it. I think the type bond instructions, I think they say to let it dry for 24 hours before you stress the joint. And I'm going to be working with it before that 24-hour point, hoping not to stress the joint, but yeah, whatever. You know, what I maybe should have done is add some, you know, little bits of CA glue to act as temporary clamps, or to act as a temporary clamp on the joint while the wood glue dries. But yeah, I think it'll be fine. And if not, then, you know, I've got lots more that I can work with. So this isn't the end of my wood supply. Let's see. Hey, Dad's Workshop. Thanks for joining us, man. And let's see. Nice job. Oh, thanks, Soldier Farms. Dad's Workshop is here. Everyone, you know, Dad's Workshop and Mike is Making Stuff in here. And, you know, they've got some really cool channels, so be sure to check them out. Subscribe. Let's see. Pilato's live. That goes through the house. Funny. Repairing a dressmaker's mannequin. Super cool. Thanks. Mike, Cal, Mike, Soldier. The joint is going to be stressed. Like pulled laterally or bearing weight or impact. Yeah, so the joint, I'm not expecting the joint to be stressed particularly, because the you know, the way this works, right? This slides into the base, right? So and just you know, we'll just pretend that this is my base, right? So it'll slide in there. And so I think most of the stress is going to be like that. So I don't know that the joint is going to experience all that much stress, right? Because it's going to be secured in there. So in some ways, it'll kind of be preventing stress on the joint. So yeah, maybe I'm not thinking of it correctly, but that's at least my thought process. So part of why I'm not too worried about how well I clamp this, and I'm just worried about making sure that I've got a nice smooth transition there, so that when I slide it in, I don't experience too much trouble. So that's my thought process anyway. Let's see. Let's see. Hope everyone is good. Yeah, Mike. Everyone's doing great. You may be referring primarily to my wife. For those of you who are unaware, she recently had a kidney transplant, and in Indiana, and we're in Idaho, and so she's doing well. Let's see. All good here. More so bulbousness of the top, harder to keep it from upright, and worry about downward force. I'm thinking back so my head. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by bulbousness of the top. Tons of market season chore, aftermarket season chores. Yeah, that's good news. Yeah. Oh yeah. So on my wife, she's doing great. She's been hanging out with my sister in Indiana. She's required to have a caregiver with her 24/7. You know, by the transplant center. That's a requirement they have. And so I was there last week, and before that, one of her sisters was there, and before that, another of her sisters, and before that, a friend from church here locally, and before that, one of her sisters was there, and before that, I was there. And So my sister from Arizona is with her now, and they're just hanging out, and they go into the hospital a couple of times a week. They do lab work, they do clinical visits, and then the rest of the time they're just trying to be active, heal, and today they went to visit the Indiana Medical Museum, which it's pretty cool. I actually went to it with my wife before her transplant while we were visiting, getting her evaluated, and it's kind of a cool museum. It's based on the old state asylum, and so they had the what's the politically correct way to say it? They had people with mental illness in the hospital, and they built a pathology building there that's, I guess, one of the very first of its kind in the country. It was finished in the late 1890s, so pretty old, right? And they had all sorts of specimens, and like brain specimens, skeletal specimens, all sorts of other stuff, because they also did autopsies at this pathology building. And autopsies were so uncommon back then, so they actually had an auditorium kind of surrounding where they would do the autopsies. And so it was a little crazy just kind of seeing how that all worked, and some of the how they had everything set up back then. So anyway, so she went and saw that with my sister earlier today, and by today I mean Saturday, even though it's, I guess, technically Sunday morning now. But since I haven't gone to bed yet, it's still Saturday to me. Let's see. Great news. Prayers continue for her recovery. Yep. Yep. State asylum. Yep. So it was the Indiana State Hospital for the Insane, I think was its technical title back in the day. Then they changed the name of the hospital a few different times. I think the final name was Indiana State Hospital, and then it was decommissioned or taken out of service several years back. So now it's no longer serving as a hospital at all, and now they've just turned the pathology building into the museum. And one of the other kind of cool aspects was outside of the pathology building, they have gardens, and part of the reason for that was that at the pathology building they had plants that they were growing that they believed to be of medicinal value. And so they have a whole bunch of different kinds of plants all around the pathology building, and they have little explainers, little plaques or whatever, kind of explaining what the plants are, what they were used for, and to the best of our scientific knowledge now, whether they are of any benefit medicinally or not. Even though they may have been thought to be medicinally useful back then, maybe science has since proven that no, not really. Whereas other stuff definitely does have medicinal value. So, Tim's Creations, thanks for joining us, man. Sounds lovely. Yeah. What are you doing? Just got here, about to make something or what? Yeah, so I'm in the process of making stuff. So my daughter has this mannequin for sewing and making clothes and stuff, and one of the supports for the base broke, and so I'm using one of these other supports as a template and making a new support out of oak. So so far in the process, I got some oak, and this is just some oak hardwood that I salvaged from someone who's getting rid of some oak hardwood floors, and planed it down to the same thickness, and jointed it and ripped it, and then cut it and glued part of it on here so that it would be tall enough for my template here. So once I'm going to let that dry a little bit longer, and once I feel comfortable enough that it's dry enough, I'm going to basically cut out my template so that it's pretty much this shape. And then the other big thing that I need to do is, you can see there's kind of this groove right there on both sides. And so basically I'll just need to cut a little dado to make that groove. And so that way it can, slide into, I'm using this as my sample base. That way it'll be able to slide into the base, just like the actual piece. So I'll just cut this guy out, cut a little dado on both sides, and then hopefully it'll work. And the dado, I think it just needs to be about the same width as my table saw blade. So I'll just use the table saw as my dado cutter. I just need to leave a little bit of material in the middle and should be fine. But we'll see. Probably a good way for me to mess it up. So let's see here. Oh, looks like chat was disconnected for a bit there. That's unfortunate. Let's see. And yeah, no, you're fine, Cecil. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I can take it. I'm a grown man. I can handle it. Let's see. Want to know what I was doing yet? Always explains. Yeah, I don't know about always. I learned back in maybe grade school, right, elementary school, that always and never basically should never use. I just did. Oh well. So while we're waiting for that to dry, let me tell you about this mallet that I made the other night on a live. So I was thinking to make it out of plywood, but we grabbed the plywood I was going to make it out of. I think it was this piece right here. So I thought, hey, that'd be nice, because I hadn't made a mallet before. So I thought, I'll just use some scrap plywood, and I'm sure I'll make mistakes, and I'll just kind of learn on this scrap that I wasn't going to use for anything anyway. It's this is some leftover. I salvaged this from an old shipping container. So and then this is just scrap from other projects I've used or other projects I've done. And, it doesn't look pretty. So it's like, I'll just use this. But then as I started cutting it up, I realized it had so many voids in it that the plies were just coming apart. And so I was like, you know what, maybe the plywood's not a good idea for a mallet. And then I was also thinking, as it gets used and pounds on things, probably those plies are not gonna work too well. Probably have some separation and everything. So it's like, you know what, probably just as well that I didn't use the plywood. So instead, I ended up using what I believe is cedar, actually. And I know most people use hardwood, but I had this, so I cut it from this piece, planed it down, and then cut it out. And the handle was here, which was tapered more. So I thought, oh, that'd be good to use the tapered handle area. And then the rest of it was more, this width here. So I just cut some segments from over there. And so then I ended up just gluing the handle in the middle next to a couple of other pieces, and then sandwiched it right there. And then on either end for my strike faces, I've got some more oak. So same stuff that I'm working with right now. And figured that way I've got some nice hardwood that's going to take all of the beating, and then my softwood, my soft cedar isn't going to be as damaged. So it's really lightweight because of the cedar, but then it's got some protection with the hardwood there. It's not going to give me much heft, so if I'm really wanting to bang on something, this isn't really going to do much. But if I'm, maybe working with a chisel, wanting some fine adjustments or something, this, might be able to do pretty well. So anyway, made that the other night on a live. And let's see, what else we got here? Hey, VLC, thanks for joining us, man. Let's see. And play with the person? No, sorry. I was talking about plywood, the material. And I agree with Heather, Cecil. We're happy to have you here. You're learning. Hey, we're all learning. It's that's the way this world is. Glad you're here. VLC's here. There is no savior. Interesting name. Very good with the wood. Well, sometimes. Good to see some new faces. Yeah, I agree. I think maybe the timing is allowing for some different faces than usual. But usually my timing is pretty late in the day, but couldn't usually be described as very early for most people, but depending on where you are in the world. But, Soldier Farm says, Cecil, we're all learning. Anyone who doesn't make it their business to learn something new every day is failing themselves. That's probably true. And I fail myself pretty often by that standard. See. And thanks for the love, Dad's work. Yeah. And also, Cecil, be sure to check out Dad's workshop. He's got a great channel too. He's doing, a lot of fun builds. He's been working on a bunk bed for a while. Saw him sanding it earlier. Well, I guess technically yesterday now. Not sure if he's quite done with it, but does a lot of hand tool, a lot less power tool work than what I do. So if you want to get a good primer on chisels and all sorts of fun, saws, chisels, hand tools, rather than table saws and routers and stuff, Dad's workshop is a great place to go for that. And Mike is cute. Yeah, I could see cute as a description of this guy. I'll take it. And hey, Lance, thanks for being here, man. Let's see here. And see. And all right. I think get through the greetings there. Early American football today because they're playing in Ireland. So I see Pilato on when I wake up. Who's? Oh, let's see. The Vikings are playing today, right? I don't remember who they're playing though. Let's see. It's coming on. Nice days. Bacha. Thanks for being here. And yeah, VLC agrees. Calvin's a great craftsman. Yep. Lyons is actually a really good craftsman too. He carves some really cool spoons. So if you're into wooden spoon carving, Lyons is he shows up as Lion's Fish Shop. Actually, if I can get some mods to add some links here, that'd be great. Let me make it easier for some people to help out with that. And there we go. Yeah, so if you want to add links for all the other creators in chat, so Mike is making stuff, Dad's Workshop, Heather B, VLC, Lions. Let's everyone who's watching, be sure to check out all these other channels because they've got some really cool stuff. Every channel is a little bit different, right? So even though a lot of them are also doing woodworking type stuff, they approach things a little bit differently than I do, oftentimes a little bit better than I do. So be sure to check out all these other cool creators in there. And let's see what else. Let's see. Oh, the Steelers. Okay, sweet. Vikings versus the Steelers in Ireland. Actually, is it Ireland? I think the Vikings played in Ireland last week, and I thought they were playing in London this week, but I could be wrong. Okay. Cecil is a welder. Cool. Just a metalhead. Yeah, my brother is learning welding. I've considered learning welding. Mike is making stuff, does all sorts of stuff, not just the woodworking, but he also does metalwork and all the other crap. So, and I see he's also putting in some links like I asked. Appreciate that, Mike. And it's the metalhead. The metalhead pun. Sweet. Vikings versus Steelers. Lions Nose Bushcraft. Yeah, I saw him wielding his axe the other day. He was repairing his axe, and he'd been, cutting up a bunch of firewood and maybe some other stuff to carve as well. Woodworking metal. Yeah, Mike's on it. I love watching lions. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Welding is a great skill. Yep, absolutely. And great bunch of people. Well, I don't know about really great. I mean, let's not oversell it. But at least generally decent group of people. Let's go with generally decent. And yeah, did Mike get everybody's links? If he didn't get your link, let him know, and he is on it. Yeah, I think we just started a new trade. Awesome. The opposite. Ireland this week, London next. Oh, okay. I was thinking that the Vikings had already been there a week, but so I was thinking that they'd already played in Ireland last week and that they were playing in London this week. But apparently they're playing in Ireland this week and then London next week. Is that right? Did I read that correctly? Ireland this week, London next week. Yeah. Mike was a welder for a while. Soldier Farms is in Springville. No one's tried to eat my dog. Yet. What kind of dog is it? Is it tasty? Yeah, union ironworker in Dallas. Sweet. I'm watching Forged in Fire. Yeah. My son likes that. So that's the one where they make knives, right? If so, my son really likes that one. I've watched that with him a bit. It's entertaining. Let's see. Generally decent. Yep. Thanks for the shout out. Yep. All right. All the links. One big happy family. Yep, absolutely. All right, let me just test. Starting to get a little hardened here. So let's see the glue. The glue on the exterior is mostly hardened. Got a little that one's a little bit bubbly, and there's still a little bit of bubbliness in there too. So I'll try and be a little bit more patient. It's tough for me. I joke somewhat with Calvin at Dad's workshop about my lack of patience. So he's working away on cutting something with a chisel and removing some material, and I'm like, wow, that's that takes so much time, right? I'm just so impatient. I'd be like, I'll just do it on the bandsaw. It's so much quicker, right? But um, different strokes for different folks. For some bandsaws, it's crude and the chisels are they're woodworking, right? So anyway, all right, check it out here. Can't wait to get the forge up and running this winter. Cool. Some of the oak floor. Yep. This is some of the oak flooring. Bunch more of it in the corner over here. That's the stuff that I've already milled up. It's all the same thickness. And then I've got some more over here. Well, I'll just move the camera instead of moving all the oak. Got some more over here that I haven't milled up all the way because I planed it to the same thickness as that stuff, but it didn't work out as well. So you can see like this guy, he's got a couple of grooves there that are still showing. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to need to plane him more. And I didn't want to have to keep him separate from the other oak boards, knowing that, those are all planed to the same thickness. And like, oh, this guy's a little bit thinner. So I'll just separate these guys out so that when I do use them, I know that they're a different thickness. And this is some cherry wood that I milled from some cherry branches from cherry tree that friend, pruned. And so after milling that down, realized that there were a bunch of cracks in it. And so I filled the cracks with epoxy to the best of my ability, and then milled them up some more. So now a bunch of them have, that one doesn't look like, but got some cool grain pattern there. But yeah, a bunch of them have epoxy in them now, like this guy and that guy. So I was trying to go for a natural color and didn't really work, but whatever. And a lot of this still have the live edges on it because I didn't want to cut away so much. So And then here's a bunch of the offcuts from that cherry that not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I have it. It's available. Do something with it at some point, probably. And then, oh, and then, whoa! As long as we're talking about all of my wood, all right. Here's some more. This is some willow from a willow tree that I cut down in my yard, and kind of see the bark separating quite a bit there. The idea that a friend of mine and I had, he helped me cut these up, because my bandsaw only has a 6-inch capacity there, and his has like a 14-inch capacity. And so I took this stuff over there and milled it up. We didn't get it quite as flat as we wanted, but the idea was that I'll make some charcuterie boards or something out of a bunch of this stuff. And I was thinking to do live edge, but I don't know that that's really going to work, because the bark I don't think is going to stick on these guys. So I could do, like, just some charcuterie boards or cutting boards or whatever. I don't think the willow is probably going to be robust enough for cutting boards, but charcuterie boards, it can probably be fine. And then I've got a bunch more of the willow, little willow segments that are hanging out in the backyard. It's probably not light enough out there for you to be able to see anything. Let me take a look here. Yeah, I guess, like, if I got a flashlight, you'd be able to see. But that would require me looking for a flashlight. Let's see. Okay. All right, what kind of ironwork do you usually do? I was in a fab shop. What they build, ship, and assemble steel building components. Do I have a heat gun? Yes, I do. VLC, I do have a heat gun. It's well, in that back corner, I hope. That's where it's supposed to be. Or maybe it's in this back corner. I think it's in that back corner, though, under the workbench. What are you thinking? Are you thinking I could do something on here to speed this up? Heat up the glue? Or are you thinking something else? Let's see. Haven't made one in a while. We make knives from railroads, spikes, and rebar that you get from the job site. That's pretty cool. Do you have a channel, Cecil? Do you show any of that there? That'd be kind of cool to see. Let's see. Mike says he's guilty of making just about anything, usually out of 836, but occasionally tougher stuff. Yeah. Surprisingly, Mike makes stuff. So you would think from his channel name that maybe he did something else, but apparently he makes stuff. So Cecil mainly welds and work with the crane operator. Cool. Cherry is cool. Love you got it from a tree. Yeah. Sweet. Hi, Vic. Oh, did I miss a Vic? Oh, VLC. Fruitwood is good. Cracking if it's dried too quick. Yeah, I dried that cherry in my little homemade kiln right here. So made the kiln right here out of basically just some, I think, 1-inch foam, or no, 1/2-inch foam board, looks like. Or no, is that 1 inch? I don't remember what it is. I think it's 1 inch. And just move this other camera and tripod out of the way. right now I've got a bench in there that's taking forever to dry. So I've just got the dehumidifier there as the heat source and the moisture extractor. And so I built that guy over a year ago and realized I made some mistakes with it. So I'm doing some different things with it now. So I dried the cherry in there, and maybe too quickly, but maybe not. Let's see. And yeah, I could make a lot of spoons with my willow. Hey Raja, thanks for being here, man. Hope things are going well for you. But best to cut it, let it breathe. Yeah. DLC is good. Everyone's commenting. Yeah, I like it. It's good to have some conversation. Slow drying usually okay. Yeah. Cecil ties a lot of rebar. Last year of apprenticeship. Excited about becoming a journeyman. Sweet. Willow is beautiful. Willow wood is beautiful. Willow trees suck. Got some lovely logs waiting for bowls. Sweet. Cecil, nervous about your journeyman test. Practicing your knots. Have to know. Hey, you know what? It's good to have tests and be able to prove not only to everyone else but also to yourself that you know what you're doing. Right? All right. VLC says he's used a heat gun to dry it a little quicker. Needed something done sooner. Maybe I'll pull that out if I ever catch up to the chat here. Calvin's excited to see Lion's Forge. Been at it a couple years. Sure, you're going to do great. Rebar is great, but man, it's tedious. Yeah. It is, and they make the apprentices do it. Hey, Sophia, good to see you. Hey, Woodchucker. Got to be pretty early for you, right? It's almost 5 a.m. here, which means in Arizona it's only 4 a.m., right? What usually gets everyone is knowing what beads to lay and when. Lots who downhill and they shoot uphill, can't overhead well, etc. And I know nothing about welding, so I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm hoping that Cecil does. All right, let's see. Yeah, the forge is basic, but it works. All right, let me see if I can find my my heat gun and try out VLC's suggestion. All right, here we go. All right, maybe I should store it without the power on, right? Let's go with low. Definitely warmer. Okay. And 4 a.m. in Arizona. Yep. Overhead sucks. Slag drip on me. Okay. Yeah, by Calvin, a Tim. What tool is this and what is it doing? So this is just a heat gun, and it is shooting heat. And the idea is to try and warm up the glue and make it dry a little faster so that I can move on to the next step in the process, suggested by VLC. So just trying it out, see how it does. And Cecil's trying to get better at TIG welding. Stick and flux can do all day. Moment of silence. Do you have a single slag bead bounce off your sleeve, dance down your glove, and right in the webbing between your fingers? Is that a long enough moment of silence? And all right. When it flies in your boot, doing a dance, get it out. And oh, Calvin's working on a remix video for Mike is Making Stuff. I'm looking forward to that. Appreciated the one you did for us and for Wes. That was really cool. Seems like there's another one that you did. Is it Ricker? Can't remember. Yeah, check out Dad's workshop and all his cool shorts and remix videos where he's kind of spotlighting some of the members for his channel. And never seen a heat gun before. Okay, yeah, that's basically what they look like. This is off, low, high. So I got this when I was in anticipation of doing some epoxy work on our countertops. So we redid the countertop island, the countertop on the island in our kitchen. And in order to get the air bubbles out of the epoxy, you can use a heat gun or a torch. And so I used the heat gun and did it poorly and had to redo it. And when I redid it, I ended up using a torch, and I think that worked a little bit better. Okay. Yeah, there's everyone watch out. You're all on the list. Yeah, a man's version of a hairdryer. Yeah, I used this as a hairdryer, and that's what happened. So, Adobe Premiere Rush app is crazy. We're addicted to. Okay. I haven't. The only Adobe program I think I've ever used is just Adobe Acrobat and Reader. Dig is amazing. The filler rod and the tungsten in unison. Something that takes some practice. Cool if all of us work in the shop together. Y'all are cool people. Different skills. We could build anything, pretty much. Solid baldy joke. Hey, got to take advantage when you get the opportunity, right? Let's do another round of trying to heat this guy up. Let's call Cecil. Should be a good shot. Yeah, I would hope so. And Sophia got a Mike is Making Stuff membership on Friday. Cool. And Heather, a crazy chat. Yep. Yeah, a little bit. Henry serves. Yeah. Lots of talent here. Some of the talent is actually useful too. So that's always a plus. And Sophia did receive the membership to Mike is Making Stuff, and she's thankful to whoever gifted it. Cecil has trouble pushing the rod while he's watching the pedal. Hard to keep the rhythm. Hey, Theodore, we're glad you stopped by too, man. Sure you like and subscribe and all the stuff. Love to see you next time, and be sure to check out all the other creators here. Mike was posting links earlier, so if you want to check out Mike and Dad's Workshop and Heather and Lions and Woodchucker and all sorts of fun channels. And Coffee Time for Lions. I don't begrudge you your coffee. You hang around long enough, end up seeing someone sitting next to a forest fire, playing guitar in the middle of the woods, sitting on a piece of toilet. All right. Bumper Dumper. VLC got a membership too. Sweet. And that's Sophia's kind of thing. More power to you, Sophia. Woodchucker already had his first cup of sawdust coffee. We can go laying the rod down the joint as the pedal comes toward it. Had to be there, Pilato. Yeah, I guess so. Is that from your shooting the poop the other night? Sorry, I missed that. I was hanging out with my daughters. So you know what, that might be enough. Ooh, definitely warm. So I think I want to try taking off that glue carefully. So let's give you all a little bit closer view of what I'm doing and or messing up. Believe it or not, no, had nothing to do with it this time. Here we go. How was the show? You might go waiting for the live stream to upload. It's 4 hours long. Oh wow. I'm doing easy to burn through the aluminum. big welding like playing the drums. What's this going to be? Oh, were you not around when I? I'll let that cool a little bit more and kind of show you what I'm working on here. This is my daughter's Mannequin. She uses it for sewing and making clothes and stuff. And one of the base supports broke. And so I'm just making a new one out of oak. So that's the project of the day. So that's and so this is my template. This is one of the three remaining. And so the idea is that I'm just going to cut this out, and then I need to make a groove right there to account for that. And then I'll be able to slide the wood piece into the base just like I would with the original plastic pieces. Right now I'm just trying to remove the excess glue. I'm not sure why I'm worrying about the glue, because really as long as I've got this area right here clear, it should be fine. And I'm going to be cutting away most of, like, nearly half of the glue joint anyway, so why am I even worrying about it? All right, that should do it. Gotta get these chisels put away very quickly. All right. Is that a chisel? Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah. Recap. Yep. And let's see. So, all right, Mike raised 150 or so for the choir trip. That's awesome. Anyone who is so inclined, please head over to Mike's channel, and there's a link there for donating to his son's choir trip. Make sure that he can have a good experience traveling with the choir. A little recap. Yeah, a lot of hand-eye-foot coordination. Yeah, awesome. This my daughter, Mannequin. Yeah, her name is Mannequin. Yeah. Yeah. So my daughter uses the Mannequin because she's into crafty stuff like making clothing, and she made her own dress for her prom last year. So Cecil could weld it for me. Yeah, how well does plastic weld? And a new foot. Yep. Have a nice day. Hey Tim, thanks for joining us, man. Enjoy your worship service. Take care, man. Soldier's got to get his day going. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. I think we all had to do similar, from fixing the artificial Christmas tree after Uncle had too many and fell into it. Oh, gotta love uncles, right? And take care, Benny. See you, Tim. That very majestic. Are you talking about me, Cecil? Let's see. See a soldier. DLC is not leaving yet, Mike, unless the grandkids come down for breakfast. Yeah, is that a chisel? Yes. Yes, it was. Sorry. Sorry, Dad's workshop. Sorry, Calvin. I'm intruding on your domain. So I'm gonna mark this out here. I think I want to make it flush with my edge here and flush with that edge there to the extent possible. And all right. I'm not sure why I'm bothering to cut this part out. I mean, I guess it makes it a little bit lighter, but I don't think there's any harm in leaving that. Maybe it just makes it a little easier if the ground is uneven to have a couple of points of contact instead of having it contact that whole area. But yeah. Okay. And okay. Barely keep up with what I'm doing from one to the next. Yep. Probably soon now that I jinx myself. Yeah, VLC. Got to be careful. As Calvin said out loud, is that a chisel? He got an ad. Funny. Chisel, you chisel. It's pelado televisual. And armchair welders online are savages. Don't let them get in your head. Don't mean it derogatory. Pushing 60 years old. Yeah. 33, you're good. Okay. Mike is old enough to call a 33-year-old kid. I call everybody a kid, even if they're much older than I am. It's fun that way. Rarely see 50-plus-year-old apprentices. There is plastic welding, good to know. It's crafty, yeah. That's what 3D printing is. Well, it's Pilato, good. Plastic welding is in fact a thing. Is OGs have the right. The plumber's pipe glue works well on ABS plastic. Yeah. I'm your age, Cecil. I lean into being called a kid young any chance I get. Yeah. I like the double tipped pencil. When it gets dull, just flip it over. You know, that wasn't my idea. That was my daughter's idea. She, I think I had sharpened one end, and she was out in the shop one day, and she likes to mess with things, so she decided to sharpen. And I was like, well, it's not the worst idea. It's not like I had an eraser on the other end. You ran long enough, smorgasbord items to give me hell, but yeah, if you don't give Mike some hell, you're not doing your job. That's how it works. Feeling on that, Heather. Mike is our favorite one to roast, probably because he's a good guy with a bunch of fun sayings and scouring footage. Yep. Yeah, Mike is definitely fun to mess with. And part of that is because we know he can take it, right? People that are a little more sensitive or maybe insecure, I'd be less comfortable with. But Mike's obviously got skill and knowledge, and don't let me say anything else because it'll get to his head. So, all right, move the fence. Bring this guy over to the bandsaw. And plug him in and connect the dust collection. And let's see. Glad to see Mike is loved. Yeah, I guess we could call it love. And let's see. He's got killer clapbacks. Yeah, they figured out I still have thick skin from the steel shop. Mike's a great guy. Hey, great guy. Come on. You're relatively decent, right? Let's. You're all great. Yeah, Sophia is pretty cool. And Mike's basically the dude. Yeah. So let's see. That's decent clearance. So I'm going to call that good. Get some eye protection and ear protection. And let's start cutting this guy. I think looks like I've got a little bit right there that I should probably remove to make sure that it'll fit in the thing. Well, that didn't sound good. This is the same problem I had the other day, which means that whatever I did to fix it the other day was not good enough. So luckily I'm done enough with my cut that I don't need to do anything else with it, but let me show you my problem over here. And actually, let me move this. Let me take the power off first and move it over here so there's better lighting. Not a lot better lighting, but a little bit better anyway. So you'll see that there's a pulley down here connected to the motor and a belt and a drive shaft here, but no pulley here because there's supposed to be a pulley on there. And there's this little key that's supposed to fit in right there and on this little groove right there. So this gets matched up basically like that. And then there's a set screw right here. Let's see. I keep the most common Allen wrenches in a little magnetic tray there. And that set screw must not be tightened down enough to actually hold. And actually my set screw right now is too far down, and so it was just pushing the metal key back. So let me loosen that up a fair amount. And yeah, I just need to take it off entirely so that I can get that key in the right place. I think maybe I just need to have the key on the pulley instead of on the drive shaft. Here we go. All right. And I don't know if I just didn't have this set screw tightened enough, but I felt like I tightened it pretty hard last time I did this, but really not hard enough. I don't think I can get any more pressure on that. And this guy's sliding around too. So let me see if do I have these guys in alignment at all? I think this guy needs to be in a little further. Hopefully this set screw is the same size. So I'll loosen him up. Okay. Doesn't want to seem to go any further back. There we go. See, that looks pretty well aligned. Let's see, is that's pretty close. So let me tighten the set screw here. Hopefully I can tighten him enough that he doesn't come loose. All right. You know what? I'm thinking maybe I should put some thread lock in there. Take those out, put a little bit of thread lock in, tighten them back down. What do you guys think? Good idea, bad idea? Let me disconnect this guy. Check in on the chat. Oh, looks like that's what everyone's already saying. So, all right, let me track down my thread lock. There we go, thread lock. All right, so I'll take out the set screws now that I've tightened them down a lot. All right. Maybe a bit more than I needed. Okay. All right. And right. Go. All right. That should work, I hope. And to get the belt back on. There we go. Hooray. Let's see. Okay. Um, do, do, do. Okay. All right. I think I'm back to where I've seen before. All right. Thick skin. Yep. Sophia's pretty cool. Mike's the dude. Sophia's got great skills and interest. Or she is Sophia. Great, great skills and interests. Okay. Hopefully I can feel cool. Engage safety squints. Laughing it up, mainly off live stream last night. Sweet. Cool, thanks. This. All right. Mike was having a ball. And don't start the timestamp stuff. What kind of steel did you work with? 100 timestamps. Oh, why it's taken so long to upload. Looks great. Structural laying out, assembly, fitting. Okay. That sounded something. I have headphones in. Yeah, a fancy dust collection system. Yeah. So I use the Centec system. So this isn't part of it, but this is. So basically, just clips in, and so I can easily switch from tool to tool. Like down here, I've got my sander, and it's got its own little clip, so it's easy to switch from tool to tool on my dust collection. Now, not everything fits that system. So, like this is from the shop vac. So if it's the 2.5 inch, and so this is a 2.5 inch, so it fits there. But then my 2.5 inch didn't fit my Centec hose, and so I just took a plastic bottle and my heat gun, and just melted the plastic down so that it was a nice tight fit. So whenever you need an adapter, most of the time, instead of paying 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks for some silly adapter, which is what DeWalt wanted for the adapter for their sander, just melt one with your heat gun or hair dryer or whatever to fit whatever you need it to fit. So that's my fancy dust collection system. And the Mike's name is written inside face one of the beams and make up the Eiffel Tower replica. Sweet. That's awesome. Woodchuckers go. See you, woodchucker. Thanks for being here. And Calvin helped Pilotto figure out the end that needs joining. Crane. Doing handrails. Yeah. Blow a hole through that shaft. Oh, are you thinking drill a hole through the drive shaft so then I can put a pin in it? And that would keep it in place. That's a good point. Let's see. Handrails suck. I believe you. What's this piece for? Are you talking about the pulley? Tapping a hole through the shaft means you could lock the pulley on. Yeah. Some Sherlock. Yep. Back in the video. Oh, you were back in the video. Okay. Hopefully you've figured out what it was that that part was. If not, let me know and I'll try to describe or help you understand. Okay. lock back. My Lathe type bonded on there. Wood glue isn't meant for it, but it'll cure and lock things in place. You can just tap it loose if you have to later. Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, we'll try the thread lock, see if that holds. If this happens a third time, maybe I will go for the wood glue. Or maybe drilling a hole through, putting a pin in. That might work too. Let's see. Yeah, redneck. It's the Harbor Freight thread lock, semi-permanent blue. Actually, the first time I've used it, but I don't remember if it was on special or I might have just picked it up when it was, the 30% off anything under $20. So I don't buy anything there at regular price. So there's always a coupon at Harbor Freight. You might have to wait a week or two or three, but never pay full price. Cecil on the I-beam, name and Union locals on a college in Texas. Colors of the horses at the mascot. Sweet. I'm guessing SMU with the Mustangs. Sounds legit. On the web in one of the leg beams. Way to combat vibrations. Okay. Baby horse mascot. And get catch. Misalignment will make the belt run cockeyed, which will introduce lateral pressure and yank the key loose over time. Okay. Are the pulleys on the same plane? Yeah, pretty much. That's what I was. I don't know if you were saying that before. I was looking at it this way, but I tried to get them on the same plane like that. But yeah, who knows? Maybe I got it, maybe I didn't. Let's see. The belt on before you tighten them and wind up. Send it. Issue I had with my sander. Yeah. Hey Wes, good to see you, man. Who I might also give the belt the tiniest bit more slack so you're not potentially introducing flex. Oh. Yeah, I actually tightened the belt a fair amount a while back because it was really loose and slipping a lot. So I don't know that I've got a lot of variability on the tightness because oh no, I could modify that a little. Let me get see what size that is down there. Nope. I was going to go with 1/2 inch, and then I thought, no, I think it's smaller than that. But nope, it's 1/2. So the motor mounts to that right there, which obviously doesn't allow me any adjustability other than, being on this one or this one or this one. But on the other side, looks like I do have some variability, which might be pretty hard to see from any angle that I can get. Let's see if I bring you lower, if I can get you a little closer and give you a better look. Not quite that low. So right here, I've got a little bit of play right there. So need to loosen these bolts over here, or loosen these nuts, and then I can let's see. Let me get the cord out of the way. All right. And actually, I think down here, up here, I've got some movement or some variability of allowable, but yeah, down there I do too. Good. So let me find, right there. All right. Let's see. That feels like too much slack. So I'm gonna tighten it a little bit more. And let's see. That's pretty loose too, actually. And pretty much it needs to be where it was before I started messing with it. So all right. And let me get this. So that it's even. Here we go. So it's pretty much back to where it was before I started messing with it. Has a little bit of give, but not. So hopefully that works. We'll see. Okay. All right. And okay. Coffee and eggs on the go. How is Wes? Sophie is off to the garden center and beach. Enjoy. Might go live from the beach, so catch you all soon. Sweet. Everyone look out for Sophia on her own live stream from the beach. That'd be cool. Let's see. Still in bed. Wes is in bed. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock there. Brilliant. Red lock on the shaft if it's a loose fit. Okay. Run to the corner and get a coffee. Self tapper. It's got bolts. Yep. Cecil's got to go to work. Hey, thanks for joining us, Cecil. Appreciate it. Glad you could meet us here. Let's see. Boss can't see your earphones. Awesome. Good luck with the alignment test. Yeah. Like this lady ain't gonna wake up and serve me. You have to self-caffeinate. Can you believe it? The nerve. All right. Journeyman test. Yep. And Peter. Hey, Peter. Thanks for joining us, man. And let's see. You guys will see me again or read me again or however you want to say it. Sweet. Thanks, Cecil. Looking forward to it. Good luck on your test, man. Is this the time he usually streams? For me, I'm not usual, let's say. I'm a bit unusual. So I stream when I'm feeling up to it and have something that I think people might be interested in seeing. Normally, when I'm streaming, it's usually closer to like 10 o'clock or midnight my time here in the Mountain Time Zone. Or Saturdays, Sundays are a little bit different, but it's kind of all over the place. And VLC hears footsteps and yelling, so grandkids are up. Time to make breakfast. Thanks for joining us, VLC. Take care. And yeah, turn on your notifications. So subscribe and then hit the little bell notification thing. And maybe there's some other things to do there as well. And let's see, got house chores today. Go live, put a garbage disposal in. Sweet. Unusual confirmed. Yeah, I am very unusual. So, all right. What state am I in? I'm in the state of Idaho and often in a state of confusion as well. But all right. So I've got that cut. That's what it looks like now. And here's my template. This is where I was when I got interrupted by the pulley coming off. So pretty close fit. So I think that's close enough to now try to cut my dado right there on both sides. So we'll go to the table saw and crosscut sled for that. or go back to the table saw and crosscut sled, I should say. And let me get that plugged back in. So I have most of the tools in my shop on wheels, which is great because I can move things around to wherever I want them in the moment. But it would be nice to have kind of more space and have a dedicated spot for everything. And that's just not my lot in life at the moment. So let me take my template over here. I'll loosen my stop block and position this stop block so that the little groove is right on my blade kerf. And now I need to lower my blade, because if I just go right now, it'll just cut that whole section off. And I just want it to go down just a little bit. Sounds like I need to lubricate that. All right, let me try that. See how that does. And okay. Cecil says, okay, I'm definitely doing all the things. See you guys. Sweet. By Mike. Mike is back. Sorry. Yeah, Mike, we are also sorry you're back, but we still love you. All right. Everybody, like the camper van style workshop. Yeah. Nice crosscut sled. Yeah, thanks, Wes. I think I've got a video describing how I built it for anyone who's interested in making something similar. Let's see. What do you get, Mike? One and West, Chair Cecil. Organization is not my thing. Dedicated spaces slay me. Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of the reason why I don't have dedicated spaces for everything, is that I'm like, okay, if I make something a dedicated spot, probably I'll want to change it later, and then it's going to be a lot more work to get things done how I want. So that's part of why I tend to put everything on wheels and make it so I can move things around easily. Croissant with cheese and egg, 24-ounce coffee, a few espresso shots. And yeah, the problem is I dedicate a space for everything, then I get a new thing. Now I have to redo it all again. Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. All right, I'm going to put on some eye protection again and some ear protection. And let's see if this works how I'm intending. think that's probably not nearly deep enough. And surprisingly, it seems a lot deeper here than on this side. I wonder if oh, you know what? It feels like I've got a little bit of bow. Yeah, that's why. Let's try this again here. Okay. So that seems a little more even. But I think it's still too shallow. The other thing is, which may not be that easily visible on the screen, is that my blade, it has alternating teeth. So I've got a tooth that sticks up kind of like this on one side, and then the next tooth kind of sticks up like this. And so when you combine those all together, I've got a little bit of a slight V. So you know, so the center of my cut is not quite as deep as either of the either of the edges. And I don't think either of them are deep enough. So yeah, I definitely need to go deeper. That's what she said. All right. All right, let's try that. And Lines is on coffee number 2. Wes has dedicated cabinets, big tools on wheels. Warned about keeping the lathe stationary. You had a good the lathe yet? Had a go with the lathe yet? Yeah, a lot of forces. I was actually thinking to put my lathe on wheels. I haven't used the lathe yet, but that's good to know that maybe I shouldn't put it on wheels. It's a very robust stand. But I was thinking it'd be a lot easier to move around and access if I had it on wheels. But this is a very old lathe too, so. All right, let's see here. A lot of forces. Oh, diddly, much easier. I was focused on one discipline. Now the wood shop, the laser, 3D printers, the welder, metal bands, how to accommodate. Yep, makes it tough. Whatnot with a spinning piece of wood. No, still haven't replaced the stand. It's wonky. Don't trust it yet. Furry muff. Best get it spare first. Outgrown the 2-car. Need something like a 30 by 40. Yep. A lot of home telling on about the lathe. The drop down wheels. Oh yeah, that's a good idea, Wes. I think I might do something like that. All right, so I'm going to go a little deeper. That might be deep enough. But I'm thinking probably, nope, not deep enough yet. All right. Let's try again. I want to sneak up on this height because if I go too deep, then it's going to be, way too thin, and it'll probably easily break when we start using it for real. So I want to leave as much material as possible and still have it work. Okay. See if that's enough. That should be enough, I think. So let me switch to the other side now. But you know what? This is going to be tricky. I don't have enough support on this side. See, if I hadn't cut out that bottom, I'd be fine. But because I cut out the bottom to match this, I've got this piece that'll hit up against here. But then this piece, my crosscut slit isn't big enough that direction. If I can support it up against the stop block and the fence, it should still work. I should have left this bottom piece. Oh well. Yeah, that's just much more problematic. I'm thinking maybe to attach something down here. What do you guys think? Okay. Okay, workshop, probably only last this winter, then fall down. A new project, benefit to have an open space. Yeah. We'll have to urinate every 5 minutes. What is happening to me? Maybe you're getting old, Calvin. That's say probably not that normal to urinate every 5 minutes, unless you just took Lasix. That might be normal. Everything is content. That's true. Have actually greenery. Yep. Getting old. Yep. Dust just wafting through. Beautiful here. Yeah, I need to rebuild the shed. Yep. Ooh, first sign of a stone. Yeah, that's no fun at all. I haven't experienced that, thankfully. Let me knock on some wood. But let's see, making the coffee like some poor single bloke. Sorry, Wes. I don't. No one makes coffee for me either. But of course, I don't drink coffee, so maybe that's why. Yeah, your body's trying to flush out the stone before it goes awry. More training needed. Yeah, do a protein test. Yeah. I should have had her cup ready half an hour ago. You've had several stones. Oh, Calvin, sorry, dude. That's gotta suck. All right, let me see. Here's the little piece that I cut out before. Of course, now I'm missing the little piece of where the bandsaw blade. But you know what? That looks like it's actually going to match up pretty much how it's supposed to. So I'm just going to go with it. And hopefully this isn't taking off too much material. All right. So here's my original. And here's the replacement. So now we've got our moment of truth. Let's see if it'll fit. Yeah. Oh, so close. All right. Oh. Okay. Um, and Let's see. Don't drink soda anymore. Maybe just genetic. Could be. I don't know, man. Thankfully, that's not an area that I've had to learn about. I've had to learn about a lot of medical crap, but thankfully, stones I haven't had to learn too much about. Wes's stones were minor. Maybe that's the trick. Wes, make the coffee. Yeah. You know, we can power through most of them with the whole cranberry juice thing everyone says, and taking shots of lemon juice through the day. That's the last one 6 years ago. Had lithotripsy. I'm not familiar with lithotripsy. I'm probably saying it wrong. Urine infections can literally bring on temporary dementia. Whoa, good to know. And thankfully dodged the laser so far. Are you saying you dodged the temporary dementia laser? Really? Are you saying maybe it's just permanent rather than temporary? Oh, they spot them in the old folks home acting up. Had that. Unyielding erections on random. Okay, Wes. Very confused. Helpful thing to know. Okay. Thank you, Lions. Well done. Sub. She's a beauty. Make 3 more. Prevention. Yeah, might need to. Love the daughter themed projects. Always extra support. Thanks, Heather. Absolute beauty. Absolute beaut, Clark. Yeah. The black spray paint, and that sucker's out the door. Why would I want to ruin that beautiful oak finish, right? I was thinking to throw some lacquer on it or something, but let's see. I give her the old tackle test. Build some legs, couple arms, have a robot. Sweet. Where am I? Cricket. That some of that temporary dementia kicking in, Calvin. Dementia is not temporary. Yeah, we understand, Mike. Who are all these people? Sweet. All right. So that was what I was hoping to accomplish with this live stream, and I have accomplished it. So anything else that anyone wants me to talk about or tell you about or show you before I call it quits for the day or the night, whatever this is? And I'm thinking that'll do nicely. I think this one might be the next to go, although this one's kind of curved as well. I don't know how well you can see the curvature. So this one's kind of not just curving that way, but also twisting. So yeah, that might be the next one to replace. This one's got curvature, not as much twist. And this one is what I was using as the template, and it seems a little bit more how it's intended to be. So yeah, I might need to make 2 or 3 more. Maybe right about that, Lions. So who are all these people? Is Heather still in the Navy? Lions quoting Patrick Star. Worried where Mike's joke is going to go. You are right to be worried, Heather. You are right to be worried. You're going to make a spoon. You know what? Could make a spoon out of this willow. What do you think? Or, you know what? It might be light enough outside. Let me see if the sun has started to grace our skies here in Idaho yet. Nope. I got a bunch of smaller willow offcuts out there, but yeah, I could carve a spoon out of something there. I'm not sure what I'd use though, because I don't have any Mora knives yet. So I'd have to use my my Harbor Freight Icon knife. That apparently needs to get cleaned up and probably sharpened. So I'm not sure how well that would do with carving. Things are going to be so much better once we finally have Carter in office. I'm going for 2 pairs of socks this Father's Day. Whatever it takes, man. You know, I also, in addition to fixing this, I fixed a little hanging rack that she had broken off of the wall. So I'm just racking up all the dad points, I guess. Maybe a 3-pack. Yeah. Use the heat gun, bend that plastic back. It's not a terrible idea. Let's see. Get my bandsaw rolled out of the way here. And knocked over one of my old cobalt chisels. Put it back on the magnetic strip here. All right. Huh. That was useful. All right. Let's see what we can do here. All right, that seems to be helping a little, maybe. Yeah, still has a curvature to it, not as much twist. Got to be careful not to exert too much pressure and snap this one like the other one did. That looks pretty close to how it's supposed to, I think. All right, let's try, well, let's see. Seems like it depends on the angle I'm looking at it. When I turn it over this way, it seems like it still has a bit of a twist and curve, but this one definitely has a curve. So I'll work on him for a minute. I think what I might want to do I'll just leave that guy in. That's pretty tight, and I don't want to break things trying to take it out. I think if I heat these guys up and then put a bunch of weight on them, and then just let them cool with a bunch of weight on them, that I think would do the trick, right? Because probably having them on the stand is making it so that they can just kind of go back to how they were before. So let me find something flat and heavy that I can put on them. Like maybe some wood. So that's flat, but I think I'll need it to be heavier. So I'll put that on and then load it up with other stuff. And that should be enough weight. All right. And that out of the way for the moment. Okay. Heat pack. All right. So heat gun, bend it back. All right. Big willow cooker. Heather's officially a genius. I think we all knew that, didn't we? Heat gun on the leg. Got some green wood. Somewhat. The willow is maybe still somewhat green, although it's actually pretty dry now, even though it's not really that old. So, yeah. Fatherhood is awesome. Get dopamine from people breaking our shit and allow us to fix it. So true, Wes. So true. Hey, honey, I fixed the thing I bought you. Again. Oh, heartbreaker is rampant in my house. Dad, I think I can do it. Can I borrow your tools? Oh, dangerous. Breaking stuff makes the world go round. Womp womp. Facts. Good at three things: breaking, fixing, coffee. No. Wife says I'm there for three things: fix stuff, cut the grass, kill bugs. Yeah, I feel that. My wife says that without saying that. Yeah. It makes us equalizing and removing background noise real well. The mix, the mic. Okay. Yeah, it's just this guy. I've got Amazon links for this guy in most of my long form videos. Some of my older live videos, I have the Amazon affiliate link for it in there too. But if you're interested in that, or if anyone else that's watching is interested in picking up the mic. If I remember, I'll put the affiliate link in the description of this video too after the fact for anyone who's watching it later. It's got a memory, usually goes back to its original form. Cold water, looking better. Yeah, I need to set it in place. Yep. Make another one if it breaks. Dad. Yeah, not bad. Kinky. It does because it will. You know, your next project. Yeah. Pretty weak tackle dummy. Somewhat weak. Yep. Oak is definitely an upgrade. Agreed. Dummy does have a name waistline, a nice waistline. Stick a piece of oak on them. And use the wood to reinforce the plastic. Paneling. Good time. Enjoy it. Hey, thanks, Wes. Oh, thanks, Mike. I ain't saying, just saying. Member for 2 months. Mike is awesome. Mike is making stuff is awesome, everybody. Getting to probably just said it too seriously. Wes, oh, is Wes taking? Enjoy myself. Oh, okay. Hey, Wes, take care. Thanks for joining us, man. See, now that you've had your coffee and you're awake, you're leaving us. So sad. But seriously, everyone, check out Wes's channel. I think he said he might be going live a little bit later today as well. So if you're looking for some live entertainment, Wes can fit the bill. Member up, people. Yeah. Hey, anyone who wants to become a member, I'm in favor. If you want to subscribe, like, become a member, all the good stuff, I'm open to it. So Mike's applying the pressure. No pressure. If you want to do it, people, go ahead and do it. If you don't want to do it, hey, I'm not going to force you. I appreciate you participating in whatever level you want to participate. You want to like the video? Great. You want to subscribe to the channel? Great. You want to become a member? Great. You don't want to do any of those things? What's wrong with you? Anyway. All right. So should we check on our plastic? See how well. Well, somewhat cooled. I feel like they're better than they were, but there's definitely still some flattening that can be done here. So let's try it. Yeah, I did. Sure, the fumes they're fine. I like to think the mic isn't removing the sound. A lot of us just pretending to use it. You know, the heat gun is not very loud. It doesn't really make much noise, especially when I don't have it turned on. Noise cancellation on those mics are like, damn, really impressive. Great to see the cost. Hey, Wes, thanks for joining up as a member, man. And yeah, the cost of the heat gun. This was, I mean, I bought this a while ago from Lowe's or Home Depot. I can't remember which. I think it was Home Depot. I think I paid like 20. It's probably between 20 and 30. And I didn't think to check out Harbor Freight beforehand, but you could probably get a heat gun for cheaper from Harbor Freight. And if you're talking about the mics, as far as the actual cost, not much. I'm pretty sure the mics were under 20 bucks, and it comes with 2 mics actually, and you can use the mics concurrently. So yeah, the mics. Yeah, you'd love a silent heat gun too. Yeah, except the heat gun's not very loud, and the microphones are not very expensive. The noise canceling mics, they, like I said, I'm sure they were less than 20 bucks because there's no way I would have paid more than that. Of course, maybe the price has gone up, you know, with you know, inflation and tariffs and everything. It might be more than what it was when I bought them, but I'm sure I paid less than 20 bucks for it. And heat gun is 19 bucks. It's great. Mic shuts all the way down when you turn it on. Yeah. So with the mics, what I've noticed when I'm doing video editing, which I haven't done that much of lately because I've been doing most everything on live, but I'll turn on like the table saw or, you know, bandsaw or whatever, and it'll be loud for a second or two, but then the noise cancellation kicks in and it quiets way down. So I've been relatively impressed with that. And beautiful. I normally splurge on the $7 one because someone seems to lose them. I wonder who you could be talking about, Heather. They're so affordable. Pilato sent me a set for starter because he got sick of my audio. Maybe. No, it's just that for YouTube videos, a lot of times the audio is a lot more important, or the audio quality is a lot more important than the video quality, because, you know, people don't necessarily notice that much if your video quality isn't 4K, right? But if your audio quality isn't good, it's very noticeable. So Lions has got to run. Have a great day, dude. Hope you enjoy your exercise. Happy to go out and run. And he says, "You awesome bunch." Again, we're just decent. We're not great. We're not awesome. Just decent. And Allison, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it. And so, all right. Let me see how much these have changed, if at all. Ooh. Got a little bit of flex still in there. And they're still relatively warm to the touch. So, speaking of the microphone, is the audio quality okay? I mean, I guess you can adjust the volume if I'm too loud or too quiet, but is my voice coming through intelligibly? That's a loaded question, but let me know if the quality of the microphone is sufficient or if lacking. Let's see. Hey, Keith. Thanks for joining us, man. Nice and clear. Oh, good. Yeah, how are we doing? We're doing great. I've manufactured a new leg for the stand of this mannequin, and out of oak instead of plastic that it came with, like these guys. And right now I'm just trying to heat these guys up a little bit. So one of these broke for my daughter's little mannequin that she uses for sewing and making clothes and stuff. And so I made a new oak footing for it. And so just trying to warm these guys up a little bit and reshape them back to their normal original shape by heating them up with the heat gun and then throwing these old particle board shelves on top. I think I got these shelves from my brother. Got a bunch of stuff from my brother. He was looking to clean out his garage. So got these and a bunch of the other stuff in my little wood cart over there. Kind of funny, as I'm warming these up, you know, you may be able to tell that I've used this workbench for a lot of different things. It's got a little bit of abuse on it, but kind of this shiny area, I put down some shellac and some lacquer, and as I'm using the heat gun over this spot, I can smell the shellac warming up and giving off some shellacky scents. So I think this is going to be my last go around with this setup here. Just let those cool down there for as long as we can. And that guy's appropriately sized and shaped. Put him in. And then, as if I'm trying to break it. There we go. Shove that over there. Okay. Nice and clear. Definitely higher quality than most. Better than our audio for sure. Okay. Sound is clear. Does the same as mine did. Just a hair tinny, but to be expected. Yeah, aren't running movie studios, right? Yeah, I have a much better microphone at my office, but I'm not usually recording YouTube videos in my office. I do record my voiceover stuff there when I'm doing voiceover, and so you can tell there's a definite difference between the audio that I recorded in shop versus the audio that I recorded after the fact as a voiceover. But that should capture a lot more of the deeper tones, to the extent that my voice has any of those deeper tones. noise cancellation, freaking top notch. Now he's showing off. Hear you talk and hardly hear the heat gun at all. Sweet. I'm gonna have bought these headphones by the end of this live, and I never spent faking the head gun. Yeah, just faking the heat gun. Yeah. He apparently inspired me to get off my lazy ass and get moving. Yeah, I think a lot of times people see and hear me and they're like, I need to go and do something else. So you're welcome, Keith. Fingers, no worries, all typos all the time. Yeah, sweet. Let's see. I'm not sure if I'm visible here, but all right. So while that is hopefully setting in place, I'll start putting away some tools here so that they are where they belong for the next time. I didn't used to be particularly organized in the shop, but it's nice having like some organizational systems so that I can see that it's like, oh, this doesn't go there, this goes over there, right? And oh, my thread lock doesn't go there, it goes with my glues. And the pencil goes in the pencil holder over here. Pencil and pen holder, I should say. And my used glue brush goes in the garbage, right? Along with the remnants from that plastic foot. This is all that I could find of it. And the mallet goes there, although I don't have a place right now for the wooden mallet. So maybe I should take one of these hammers and so I've got a this will heavy mallet with the sand or whatever in it, so that it gives more impact and deadening impact. And then I've got one of these mallets that I got from the same guy that I bought the planer and jointer and dust collector and other stuff from. And it's got two different types of surfaces here. They both feel rubbery to me. I'm not sure if one of them is a harder rubber than the other, and if so, which one. This one feels like if that's the case, then this is probably the denser rubber, and that's a lighter rubber, but I could be wrong. And then I've got the two hammers, but maybe I just put one of the hammers in a different spot. And then I've got room for my hammer, my small mallet, my big mallet, and my wooden mallet, just barely. And then I'll put the hammer over here in this toolbox that I got from my brother. Okay. Okay. And then let's see, what else? What else can I put away? Oh, this. This is the bandsaw fence. Did a video about this. Someone asked for. So I'll put that on the bandsaw. I know that's probably sounds like an odd place for the bandsaw fence to be, but it's usually where I like to keep it. There we go. And this can go in the wood pile. Have you guys seen my my little plywood cart that I use for carting plywood? Let's see. Let me get dressed and turn on YouTube. Start working on that chest. Yeah, get to it, man. So for those of you who haven't seen it, this is not just plywood, but little storage cart that I made. So it's on wheels. It's on braking wheels. I'm not sure why I needed the brakes because loaded up, this thing is so heavy. Does not need the brakes, but anyway, I just store a bunch of plywood on it. When I was thinking of something like this, yeah, casters for everything. Exactly, Heather. When I was thinking to build something, I searched up on YouTube to see what was already out there, and it seemed like everyone that had a plywood storage cart made them 4 feet tall and 8 feet wide. And I was like, man, that takes up a lot of floor space, right? So I was like, I want to go my 8 feet dimension up instead of across, so that I'm only taking up 4 feet. And so basically, I've got 4 feet across there. Basically 8 feet up, a little short of 8 feet, as you can see from the plywood sticking up above the board there, but didn't really need to have full 8 feet up. And then it's a little less than 4 feet deep here. So yeah, so then I've got 3 different compartments, right? One for the plywood, and then I've just got a little lip there that got some stuff hanging over the top, but and just use 2x4s for my supports. And I've got more like mostly smaller plywood offcuts and such in that middle section, and then more just kind of smaller boards and stuff in this little area here. Not exactly how I was intending to build it at first, but that's kind of how it's become. And then I've got a bunch of storage up high. So I've got a bunch of like old shipping container wood. So a bunch of 2x12s and 4x4s and most of what that is. Then I've got a little bit of some old cedar firewood that I salvaged that I'm building stuff with. And those are primarily some 2x6s, some cedar 2x6s that I got from somebody who was getting rid of their deck for free, which is my favorite price. And yeah, casters for everything. Keith, what to do? Yep. And all right, so let's check this out. I mean, it's just a tiny bit of flex still in there, but overall, and those are pretty straight. Tiny bit of twist and curve to them still, but way better than they were before. Good idea, Heather. Thank you. I would say that my daughter will be pleased, except she probably won't even notice that I fixed these. And if she doesn't notice that I did something for her, is it really worth doing? There we go. All right. I think we're pretty much done. See anything else that you guys want to know or see or hear about? Ready for spin kicks? Yeah. Being used to having a reliable dad, not a bad thing. Make that video with well-timed cuts and sent to his daughter. Really enchanted the figure, enhanced the figure. Yeah. Perfect. Hey, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining. If anyone has any comments, ideas, jokes you want to share, be sure to get them in immediately, because I'm fixing to call it quits. So thanks everyone for being with me today, so we could fix this mannequin stand, and join me next time when she breaks it and I can fix it again. All right. Mike always has comments, but he will digress. Yeah. Let me know some more about Lubbock, Mike. If there's anything else that I might use to convince my missus to come with me to a game there. So, all right. See y'all later. Hey, Heather, glad you were able to catch the live as well. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate your idea on the heat gun for the stand to fix those plastic pieces. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. See you next time.